Hello, so this is another video looking at using PD as a sampler. Previously we looked at the dynamic sampler where the keyboard was used or notes were created using the make note object. This is a very similar patch and it uses a table to create the notes. What it means is we can make as many notes as we want. And what we're emulating here a little bit is as though you were playing the MIDI keyboard, but you were placing both your arms on the keyboard at one time. So it creates a massive kind of glissando from slow to fast. So let's try and do this. Turn sound on, load a file. The best thing to do is to load a test file. So speech. Number of points is the number of points in your table. I can reset that table to 0 and let's say I just set 20 points. So as I wouldn't have 20 fingers, this is doing something that I couldn't otherwise do with the previous patch. And if I set that from 0 to 1, I should get something from slow to normal speed. Now the ambitus is a multiplier. So if I set that to 1, I should get from 0 to 1. My num points and my make points are normally one and the same value. Make points would be how many points it actually reads from the table. And normally you'll read the whole table. So I'll set that to 20. And the duration, I'll just set that to 5 so we can keep it nice and short. So this should produce a glissando going from a uniform speed through to a slow speed. So now we can develop this a little bit. What happens if I move this table, draw this much closer to there? That's obviously quite high and that's less high. Let's run the same thing.
Or even if they seldom see the best, the worthy folk go in so much for reading. How can you something brisk and new? Not everyone else.
So this looks like it's going to be, let's make it more like the original sound, probably around there.
For even if they seldom see the best, the worthy folk go in so much for reading. How can we manage something brisk and new?
Let's alter the ambitus, 0.5.
For even if they seldom see the best, the worthy folk go in so much.
So as you can see, if this was something like that, we had 45 points. We did 45 points. We drew this like that. We did 10 seconds duration. We should get a much more complicated glissando. Lower the speed a little bit, back down to 1. And this will randomize the panning of each left and right channel. But if we have the panning exactly the same per sound file, it also amplifies that sense of cascade. And finally, just pick a different sound. So we pick the zither. Quite interesting. Lower it a bit. And we could lengthen it, and we could go on. So there's some interesting scope here regarding drawing the wave here, adjusting the number of points to something really quite silly. Make sure you lower your volume of each, because this is stacking up notes of a sound file, so you don't want to get any clipping. This could be quite useful for generating textures, and it emulates one of the very traditional Composer's desktop projects texture generation algorithms.